is Monday Night Football right here on KSAT 12. So the Dallas Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites entering their Week 11 primetime game against the Las Vegas Raiders.
KSAT Sports Now will have a 30-minute pregame show live on air beginning at 6:30 tonight to lead you into that big game. So be sure to stay locked in to KSAT 12.
All right, we're finally starting to see skies clear around San Antonio. You can see that sun shining right over the Alamo City. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the pollen count today, because here's the good news. The only allergen we have are molds, and molds are low. Now, the not so great news is that the aquifer continues to fall and is almost 40 feet below the monthly average. We need rain. And there is the hope for some rain, particularly on Thursday. Rain becomes more likely, some storms. We'll talk about how that will impact your day on Thursday in just a bit.
The Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner is back again this year, and volunteers are preparing to serve a record 29,000 meals. That's up from 25,000 last year, and it's because of an increased need in our community. To help them with their mission, we're hosting a KSAT community phone bank right now. So far, you have helped us raise nearly $3,000. So to learn more about the impact, we have Juliana Oyola, and you are a Judson ISD social worker. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
It means so much to have you guys here, and I think people don't realize how many organizations and school districts and everyone help out with this immense dinner. So tell us how the ISD is helping.
Yeah, so I was able to make a partnership with Miss Jimenez. She's been a tremendous help for us. So I work under a program called McKinney-Vento, which is all of our homeless students. They could be living in a car, in a hotel, with multiple family members, just depending on their situation. And she's actually providing over 500 homebound meals for these people. They may not have transportation or a way to get to the event, so she did give me another opportunity just where the people don't even have to leave where they are. They don't have to worry about cooking. And she does deliver these meals to each of their homes, not just for the student, but for the entire household of everyone living there.
So, I mean, really, the school district becomes an immense resource for these kids to even have a holiday in general, because if it weren't for you and your partnership with the Raul Jimenez dinner, would these folks have a Thanksgiving dinner at all?
Probably not. Just the transportation being a barrier, money for groceries. This is probably their only chance of a meal that they're going to have.
I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of children in some of our local districts are experiencing homelessness.
Yes.
How difficult is it for those kids on a day-to-day basis, especially with food insecurity?
It's very difficult, especially with everything changing right now. Some of these kids don't have transportation to get to school. Sometimes they're showering at the school because they don't even have an adequate place to live to shower. And the numbers are growing, unfortunately. So,
is that partially, you think, because of the economy and how difficult it is right now? Are you seeing an increased need or increased numbers?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. And so what does that mean for the community? Because I know a lot of people are struggling, but even just $1 can help. We see that with our phone bank. How much can our community actually help these kids?
The community is basically all these kids have to rely on. So even $1 can help. It goes a long way. Just making sure that everyone can have a meal for Thanksgiving and enjoy the time with their family.
And you get to interact with these kids and these families a lot, which is incredible. You're such a great resource, and thank you for what you do. But can you just give us like kind of a reaction for when they're getting this help from the community, from the district? What is their reaction to when they get this help and they can actually have a Thanksgiving dinner or just some food at school or a shower? I mean, how much does this mean to them?
It means the world, honestly. Something so simple to us means a huge thing to a lot of other kiddos and families. After I secured the partnership and I started reaching out, I even had some families crying on the phone because they didn't know how they were going to eat for that week and for that special day. And then, you know, giving the family the experience that everybody should have on that day.
Well, thank you so much first for what you do for our students in our community and being a part of this phone bank. If you would like to donate to the Raul Jimenez dinner, this is one of the many places that it's going to go. On your screen is a QR code. You can call the number right there, 210-351-1363. And at the end, we're going to tally up all of your donations, just $1. It doesn't matter how much you give. It can really help these families. Thank you so much, Juliana.
Thank you so much.
Steph and Sarah?
Yeah, thank you guys. It's good to see we are getting the phone calls while you guys were talking. They were
100%.
taking your phone calls. So thank you so far for what you have donated.
It is the giving season in San Antonio. If there's one thing we're good at, it's giving back to our community. So thank you, everyone. I would like to see some rain, Stephanie. Now, it comes at the cost of the potential risk for some stronger storms here, but we desperately need rain. And so as we look at rain chances around the Alamo City, particularly storm chances, you can see that they really start to increase beginning Wednesday night, but especially on Thursday. I think Thursday is the day that we're going to have to be the most weather aware for the potential for some storms. So let's start with a look across the nation, and let's start with that storm chance. It is quiet across Texas. We've got snow in the northeast, and then take a look at California. There is a very active weather maker out in California right now. Snow, rain, flooding issues. This is the weather maker that's going to be bringing us the chance for rain on Thursday. So as we take a look at our futurecast as we get closer to Thursday, it'll be quiet tomorrow, quiet for most of Wednesday. I think honestly here in San Antonio, not much going on Wednesday, but out west nearer to Del Rio, some storms could start to develop. Then we have to be on alert Wednesday night because some of these storms could be moving through, but I think it's particularly Thursday that we have to be on alert. This is a look at Thursday morning. You can see as we head closer and closer to the afternoon, a few rounds of showers and storms through San Antonio, and perhaps even some more redevelopment in the later hours as well. And when we talk about rainfall potential, this is going to be very interesting because there will be those that get a lot of rain and there will be those that miss out on rainfall. Take a look at this. I think this is a great example of the kind of rain we could see. There will be some neighborhoods in South Central Texas that perhaps see more than 3 inches of rain, while other neighborhoods could see up to about 1 inch or 2. But the other thing is, the opposite part of that is that any location anywhere around San Antonio could also see very little to no rain, unfortunately. So what we're looking at is a wide rainfall range. Those that get a lot of rain and those that miss out on rain pretty much entirely. So this makes for a tricky rainfall forecast. We're not going to be able to tell exactly where the heaviest of the rain happens until the day itself. So we have to be on alert for the risk for flooding because I do think there could be 1 to 3 inches of rain in spots on Thursday. Again, just a reminder, there will be those that miss out on the rainfall. And any stronger storms that develop on Thursday could end up producing some hail and gusty winds. But that is a smaller chance than I think the risk for some flooding in spots. So we will keep you posted. I think the biggest takeaway is that you need to stay weather alert on Thursday itself. Now outside right now, we're finally starting to see the sun come out. It's 78 in San Antonio, already 82 in New Braunfels, 78 in Del Rio, and 78 in Kerrville. For the rest of the afternoon, we'll be looking at mostly sunny skies and a high of 80. And then this evening will be mild temperatures in the 70s. And guess what? We're going to do it again tomorrow. Very similar weather to today. Morning clouds, afternoon sun, 85. And then we start to see our storm chances increase on Thursday. Behind that storm system, though, it will be much more comfortable. Highs only in the 70s. Hey, coming up in the next half hour, I have a look way ahead into the future to Thanksgiving.
Ooh, way in the future.
Yeah, it's about 9 days away.
No, I know. It's hard to do that.
Weather-wise. Thank you, Sarah. Well, getting a good deal this shopping season can be very tricky. How to shop smart online.
As we know, holiday shopping is in full swing, and a lot of us are turning to online stores because it's quick and convenient.
Yeah, however, as Japhanie Gray reports, there are a few things to keep in mind to make sure that you're getting a good deal.
Holiday shopping is underway. Some are picking things out in person and also turning to online for convenience.
I like to come to these places like this to see the products, but I also like to buy online.
But it doesn't always go smoothly.
It can be easier, but sometimes you end up sending a lot back.
And it's more than just returns. On sites like Amazon, Walmart, and Temu, you may be buying from third-party sellers rather than the retailer itself. That can make it harder to hold the seller accountable for unsafe or defective products. Consumer Reports investigations have found that the products sold by third-party sellers can be fake, dangerous, and fail to meet U.S. safety standards.
If you buy a product at a brick and mortar store and it causes harm, the retailer can be held responsible. But when you buy from a third-party seller on an online marketplace, that liability isn't always the same. Some third-party sellers may be unreachable or unaccountable for the harms caused by their products. And in many cases, the online platform can claim it's just the middleman.
Consumer Reports recommends sticking with sellers you trust. If the marketplace itself is listed as the seller, that's generally safer. If you're instead interested in a product listed by a third party, stick with well-known and trusted brands. Some products need the highest level of scrutiny, things like toys, anything with lithium-ion batteries, or small enough for a child to swallow. Here's something else to consider. Badges like Amazon's Choice or Etsy Pick might catch your eye, but it's not always clear how these products are selected. Keep in mind the fake and paid-for reviews are common, so focus on detailed reviews, especially if multiple people mention the same issue. And how do you know you are getting the best deal? Start with comparison sites like Google Shopping, Price Grabber, or Shopzilla, or check deal sites like Deal News and Got a Deal, where you can even sign up for alerts of products or categories you're watching.
Sometimes just leaving something in your cart can trigger a discount email, and it helps to join store loyalty programs or follow brands on social media because that's where they tend to drop coupons and promotions.
And remember, sponsored listings are paid placements, not necessarily better deals. Bottom line, a little caution online can save you money and help keep your family safe.
Well, the popular GLP-1 weight loss medication Wegovy with a major announcement today.
Drug maker Novo Nordisk says that it is making the medication more affordable for those without insurance coverage. ABC's Dr. Tara Narula has the story.
For self-paying patients, starting today, patients can access Wegovy and Ozempic for $199 a month for the first few months, and then it moves to $349 a month.
Both of the popular GLP weight loss medications, including Eli Lilly's Zepbound, cost about $500 a month for those paying without insurance. Starting today, the self-pay price of Wegovy will drop to $349 a month, and self-pay patients can get the first 2 months of the lowest doses for $199. $349 is about what patients might pay for non-FDA approved compound versions.
For so long, the drugs were very expensive. Why now? Why the price reduction?
It really builds on some of the announcements that came out last week at the White House, where we've committed to expanding access and lowering the prices. We're pulling this forward a few months to start now instead of waiting until 2026.
In the U.S. alone, there's close to 100 million people living with obesity. Making these medications more affordable could help millions with obesity-related illnesses, including chronic kidney disease, MASH liver disease, and cardiovascular disease. In fact, a recent large study of semaglutide, the active ingredient in Wegovy, found it reduced the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack and stroke.
And we know that cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in this country for men and women.
Absolutely. And it's so closely related to obesity and diabetes. And the fact that we are able to prove that there is a risk reduction is a really important element.
And on the horizon, non-injectable weight loss medications in the form of a daily pill, which they say will be even less expensive when available, starting at $149 a month.
We're very excited. The fact that we can have an oral GLP-1, which we'll call Wegovy pill, should be coming by the end of the year.
Alrighty, seeing sun around San Antonio for the first time today. It's been a while of cloud cover early this morning, but it's nice to see the sun. But that sun means it will get warmer. I want to show you the satellite image of Texas because San Antonio, one of the last places to see those skies clear across Texas. Again, look at the satellite picture you can see here. There's still some clouds in East Texas, though. Generally, temperatures are on the rise. The high today will be 85. San Antonio will be one of the hottest places across the nation today. Of course, the Rio Grande Valley also even hotter than San Antonio, near to 90 degrees. But we're going to be hotter than Florida. It's kind of crazy, but that is the case because we got a high pressure system overhead. Meanwhile, as we look off to the west, you can see all the rain for parts of California, even some snow. This is our next system that is going to be bringing us the chance for rain in San Antonio on Thursday. Is our highest chance for rain, about 60%. Rainfall forecast is tricky. There will be a wide range of rainfall, as is often the case around the Alamo City. I'll tell you what you need to know about Thursday's rain chance coming up.
All right. Nearly 113,000 plug-in hybrid Jeeps are being recalled due to a possible issue with the engine. According to Stellantis, the engines could be contaminated with sand from the casting process, which can damage the engine. Stellantis says in rare cases, it could result in a vehicle fire. The recall covers certain model year 2024 to 2025 Wrangler 4X ES, as well as WE 2023 to 2025 Grand Cherokee 4X ES. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration says drivers may hear a knocking noise coming from the engine or see a malfunction indicator lamp. Owners will be notified by mail at the end of December.
Well, President Donald Trump urging House Republicans to vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, saying on social media that there's nothing to hide. Epstein, a convicted sex offender, died by suicide back in 2019 while facing sex trafficking charges. Now, President Trump said he ended their friendship years ago. The House is expected to take up the issue this week.
The Supreme Court announced it will review a controversial immigration policy adopted during the first Trump administration. Under the metering policy, potential asylum seekers were turned away before they set foot on American soil. The Biden administration rescinded metering and instead began requiring most people seeking asylum to make an appointment before arriving at the port of entry. The Trump administration argued to the Supreme Court that presidential administrations should retain the option of reviving the metering practice when border conditions justify it. The court will hear arguments in the case next year, and it's expected to make a decision before July.
Well, tensions are rising in the Caribbean with a massive U.S. military buildup underway. The move is part of the Trump administration's vow to crack down on drug smuggling.
Over the weekend, the U.S. carried out the 21st known strike on an alleged drug trafficking boat. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details from Washington.
Today, the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, is in the Caribbean, ordered to move there by the Trump administration. This photo shows it with 3 destroyers in tow, plus a B-52 bomber and fighter jets overhead. The military buildup is intensifying tension between President Trump and Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro. On Sunday, Trump suggested the two may hold talks.
We may be having some discussions with Maduro, and we'll see how that turns out. They would like to talk.
Also over the weekend, another boat strike in international waters. It's the 21st boat strike since early September, and what the administration vows is a crackdown on drug smuggling. White House officials haven't publicly provided any evidence the boats destroyed were carrying drugs or that they were headed to the U.S. The strikes so far have killed 83 people, according to the administration.
No one wants a war with Venezuela to the extent they're claiming it has something to do with the drug trade coming into the United States.
Trump has repeatedly threatened to escalate with strikes on Venezuelan soil. When asked about seeking congressional approval for potential options, the president suggested he'd let lawmakers know about it as a courtesy.
We don't have to get their approval, but I think letting them know is good.
According to UN data, most of the drugs trafficked through the Caribbean are headed to Europe. Venezuela's government accuses the U.S. of ultimately seeking a regime change. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Well, have you made your plans for Thanksgiving yet? Well, apparently you can have the best Thanksgiving by staying right here in San Antonio. We're going to tell you why.
And happening right now, phone bank operators are taking your calls. It's part of our latest KSAT community effort to help the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner. We have an update on donation totals coming up at 12:45. Well, the Justice Department made some big mistakes in the case against former FBI Director James Comey. That's what a federal judge said today.
So the judge ordered prosecutors to hand over all grand jury materials to the defense. The judge pointed out serious problems like wrong legal claims made to the grand jury and unexplained issues with the transcripts.
The prosecutor in charge had no prior experience and was appointed just days before the indictment. Comey's team wanted to see these materials to make sure the case was fair.
All right, we are starting to see the sun in San Antonio. It is going to be a warm day around the Alamo City. Take a look at those sun rays. You want to know the scientific word for those sun rays?
I do.
Crepuscular rays.
No way. Crepuscular.
Yeah,
That's a fun word.
From Latin. That's your science fact for the day, I guess. All right, in the pollen count, we've got molds are low at 230. Aquifer is down 0.4 of a foot over the past 24 hours. That's not great news, but here's the thing. Even though tomorrow's going to be cloudy with more of the same in the morning, we are going to be seeing storms possible Thursday. In fact, storms are likely, and with those storms comes a few risks. With some stronger storms, perhaps even the risk of some flooding in spots. So coming up, I've got a look at how much rain is expected and the wide rainfall range in just a few minutes.
Hey, welcome back. And our KSAT community phone bank is underway right now. So go ahead and take a look at your screen. We have the total donations so far for the benefiting the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh! $11,510. Wow!
That is up $9,000 since the start of the show.
Yes, that's amazing.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I just got the chills.
It's exciting. Thank you, San Antonio. And yeah, keep the calls coming. You can see all of our volunteers there taking your calls. What an amazing job. And right now we are joined by Patricia Jimenez with the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us. We are having a wonderful time, and we want to thank the listeners or the viewers for actually calling in. We're so grateful.
Absolutely. And, you know, for people at home, I know, you know, people in San Antonio are familiar with the Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner every year. And give us an idea about how this all started in the 70s.
Well, my father was a businessman, and he had been a businessman for over 20 years, and he wanted to ensure that he gave back to the community. So he knew that seniors were often alone and didn't have a place to go for Thanksgiving. And he said, nobody should be alone. And so he said, I'm going to start the first Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day for seniors. And the first year, with the help of the city, 200 seniors were fed for that 1 year. But many people thought, well, you won't have a lot of people show up because they're busy with their families. And he understood that there was a lot of loneliness and a lot of solitude and poverty as well. And he didn't feel like anybody should be alone on Thanksgiving. So that's why we're working so hard today to ensure that we can make sure to have everyone who comes to the door, to provide them with that beautiful meal and to provide them with that fellowship, that community table, that food for the soul that so many people don't have.
Absolutely, and it's expanded every year, almost 25,000 a year, and this year expecting even more, which is why we need the help of the community to take care of so many people.
Yes, we have been receiving more calls than ever. We've increased our numbers, and we're preparing at least 4,000 more meals this year to ensure that we're ready for anyone who walks in the door. The need is great, and for some people, this is going to be their only meal. It's a beautiful Thanksgiving meal, but for some people, they're just trying to survive, and they're just trying to find that meal so that they can eat for the day. So thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, it's exciting with all the donations. And, you know, like Courtney had an interview earlier. I mean, it's not just seniors. I mean, even students appreciate this.
Oh, yes. There are a lot of homeless kids, and I can't even imagine how they're going to school under those circumstances. But we are wanting to make sure that they get that Thanksgiving experience as they deserve, especially after going through so much.
Absolutely. Well, you guys still have time to help out, so remember to call in and make your donation. And thank you for the donations so far.
11,510.
I really did get the goosebumps.
I know.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, scan the QR code, call 210-351-1363. Let's get those numbers up. We have 13 minutes left in our show. Hopefully by the end we'll have even more.
I would love to see the number at the end of the show.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Okay, so speaking of Thanksgiving, I do have a Thanksgiving weather preview for you. Yes, Miss Jimenez was just asking for the Thanksgiving forecast.
She's like, is it gonna rain?
Here's the thing, rain we still have a question about because we're about 9 days away from Thanksgiving.
It's a long time.
It's hard to nail down a rain forecast that far out, but we can get an idea of temperatures at least. So Courtney, I think it's unlikely for us to see temperatures in the 80s. That is unlikely in San Antonio. So that is our, let's go ahead and take a look at the graphics. I don't think the 80s are likely in San Antonio. That being said, it's most likely that we'll be in the 70s, but there is a realm of possibility where we get a cold front that moves through on Thanksgiving Day, and that would mean temperatures potentially in the 60s. So that's a possibility, but the most likely option is that temperatures would be in the 70s. And of course, we'll keep you posted on that rainfall forecast if we could see any rain on Thanksgiving itself. Meanwhile, the next couple of days, today and tomorrow, we are going to be 14 degrees above average. And Wednesday is going to be a lot warmer than average too. But by Thursday, front moves through, and that allows for our temperatures to fall into the 70s for the highs over the weekend. It will be really pleasant. With that cool front, though, comes the potential for some storms. So I want to walk you through the futurecast, kind of what we're thinking about. Generally, okay, tomorrow's going to be quiet. Wednesday, for the most part, is going to be quiet as well. By Wednesday night, though, there could be a few storms closer to the border near to Del Rio. Overnight Wednesday into Thursday, there's the potential for 1 or 2 storms around San Antonio as well. We'll call it about a 40% chance. And then during the day on Thursday, I think we'll have a few rounds of downpours. About 60% chance, 60% coverage around San Antonio. And any storms that develop could be on the stronger side. So as far as rainfall goes, I think Thursday is going to be a classic example of what it's like when we get rain here in South Central Texas. There are those that get a lot of rain, and then there are those that miss out entirely. Keep in mind that this area of rainfall, the higher rainfall totals, that could be anywhere. It could be over the hill country, or it could be right over San Antonio. Heck, it could even be all the way up toward Killeen and Waco. But the thing to keep in mind is we're going to have a wide range of rainfall. Where the heaviest of the rain develops, we could see perhaps up to 3+ inches of rain. But there will still be those that miss out entirely on good rainfall. So when we break it down, the storm chance is highest Thursday, but we start seeing some storms possible Wednesday night, 40%. Thursday, 60% coverage, less coverage Thursday night, and things will come to an end on Friday. So you should expect storms, at least some storms, on Thursday with breaks. It's not going to be raining all day on Thursday. You should also expect a wide rainfall range. Trace amount of rain to 3 inches plus of rainfall. What we'll be watching for as your weather authority is the risk for flooding, hail, and gusty winds. We'll be watching for that and keeping you posted. And so what should you do? You should plan to stay weather aware on Thursday. Make sure you have the KSAT Weather Authority app. Those kinds of things will keep you posted. Skies are clearing right now in San Antonio. Will be hot, 85 for the high. That's 14 degrees above average. And then this evening, things will be quiet and a little on the muggy side. We'll do it all again tomorrow with morning clouds and afternoon sun. Then we'll start to see our storm chance pick up Wednesday night around San Antonio, and especially on Thursday. Things clear out for us. Mornings will be in the 50s, afternoons in the 70s over the weekend. Lovely weekend ahead for us, guys.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Sarah. Well, we all love San Antonio, but now there is one more reason to appreciate the Alamo City. Our city is ranked #1 when it comes to the best places to go for Thanksgiving. We're going to tell you why next. Well, after this week, the kids will be out of school for Thanksgiving. And did you know that the best place to have Thanksgiving is right here in San Antonio? Of course, I think San Antonio is the best because I'm from San Antonio. However, Wallet Hub has the research to back it up, and they have released their report on the best places to go for Thanksgiving in 2025, and San Antonio is #1. We all love San Antonio here. It is a great place to live. But why is it #1 when it comes to a Thanksgiving destination?
But what's interesting, what people are looking at now when it comes to celebrating Thanksgiving is affordability and weather. And San Antonio does have both of those things going for it because it is it's quite affordable.
According to Wallet Hub, San Antonio is a great place to visit and either have your Thanksgiving feast at a restaurant or pick it up from there.
Now, what's key here is that it's a good place for people who want to dine out for Thanksgiving. And that's becoming more and more of a thing. If nothing else, it's kind of a stress reliever. In a lot of cases, it might even be a budget reliever because it takes the stress out of all the cooking and all the logistics.
So here's a quick look at the top 4 spots for the best Thanksgiving. San Antonio at the top, of course, and you see another Texas city, Dallas, at number 4.
San Antonio and some of the other Texas cities that made the top 10. Weather's a factor. Precipitation is usually pretty low. In fact, in San Antonio, it's almost non-existent during Thanksgiving season, and the temperature is pretty mild also.
So just a side note, San Antonio is number 1 out of 100 cities, so good for us. And there are several local restaurants ready to tackle your holiday meal for you. So Bill Miller Barbecue and Smoky Mo's both have offers, and so does local chef Jason Dady. We have all that information on our website, KSAT.com. Just scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen. Our list also has some national favorites like Luby's and Cracker Barrel, and we have links in this article as well, so you can place your orders.